Bonjour. 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 Croissant. Baguette. Welcome to Tall What?
You got a frog in your throat there, mister? What the hell?
I'll put a frog in your throat. That wasn't sexual.
That
Don't make it sexual.
freezing, Tony!
Don't make it weird.
That's disgusting.
Don't make it weird.
You're gross.
Well, you're the one that doesn't like frogs, so.
Yuck.
Baguette, and welcome to... Well, we're not going to have any French listeners after this.
Oh, God. Hey, you did that, so.
So, welcome to Tall and Short with Tim and Tony. No, you're Tim.
Yeah, I'm Tim.
You're Tim, and I'm a Tony.
Okay, it sounds like he's Tim and he's Tony, but that works. I'm Tim.
Ah!
I'm just sitting here.
I knew you were. It's gonna be a weird one. It's gonna be a weird one, man.
How is this not gonna be a weird one? This is all nothing but weird ones.
So,
Stop trying to bring logic into this, dude.
don't do that.
Shut up.
We don't do logic here.
Now, we don't do normal conversations. We've established that.
Yes, that's in the tagline.
That's in our description.
So, I'm talking horribly Americanized French. Because
emphasis on horribly.
Yeah, I took French 1 and 2 once. It's barely passed. I had to bribe someone to pass, but you know, whatever.
Jesus.
It's not my fault that the teacher made me use logic with her.
That's on you.
I'm going to start this before we start this. French 1, I had like a 58 in college. I walked up to the teacher the day of after we got done with the final, like that day. I was like, just so you know, you can either pass me, or I could be back in here again for French 1, and then I have to do French 2 the next semester.
Oy vey.
Magically, that final bumped up to a 61. Just saying.
Ah, you're terrible.
Anyway, I promised puppies.
Yes.
I promised puppies.
And I promised the check didn't bounce this time, but unfortunately, once again...
What's your excuse this time, sir?
Apparently, it didn't recognize my signature. I don't know how. I mean, I did the right thing. Apparently, Harkins isn't enough anymore. That's the wrong name. So, puppies!
Puppies.
Where's the cue with the puppies? You had a French poodle and then a Weimaraner, if I'm not mistaken.
Wisconsin Weimaraner.
Reamer. Fucking hell.
No listeners in France or Wisconsin. No, I'm gonna... Our French one we're gonna discuss is probably top 5. Another one of my top 5 favorite cryptids, historical creatures.
Oh, Hellhound puppy? Okay.
Well, almost.
Oh.
The Beast of Gevaudan.
Hey, you said it right.
I know, right? Context to that comment. Since I was like 10 years old and I got my first monster book, you know, Bigfoot and Yeti, all that, I have been pronouncing the Beast of Gevaudan as the Beast of Gevaudan. There's no I's in there. But yeah, I've been pronouncing it as Gevaudan since I can remember, and my brain just refuses to let that die. So if I let that slip, that is why. Anyway, the Beast of Gevaudan is allegedly a man-eating animal or animals that terrorize the former province of Gevaudan, consisting of the modern-day department of Lozère and part of Haute-Loire in the Margeride Mountains of south-central France.
Okay.
Between 1764 and 1767.
1764 and 1767. So a 3-year
reign.
A 3-year reign of terror. Not to be confused with the Reign of Terror.
So yeah, puppies.
I like puppies, but I'm a little bit worried about these types of puppies. This puppy, at least.
I'll give a little bit of background and parameters of where this all happened. The attacks covered an area spanning around 56 by 50 miles squared. So pretty large area.
Yeah, it's a good sizable chunk.
And for our non-American listeners, 90 by 80 kilometers.
That's still
give or take.
Fairly sizable.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really good...
That's just, that's foreigny sounding.
That's a good chunk of... That is a good chunk of land.
The attacks were said to have been committed by one or more beasts of a tawny, russet color, so fall brownish, dead leaf color sort of thing.
Okay.
With dark streaks, stripes, and a dark strip down its back, and a tail longer than a wolf's, ending in a tuft, according to contemporary eyewitnesses.
A tuft of fur on the end of a tail?
Yeah.
Kind of like a lion, sounds like it.
Or a hyena.
Or the hyena.
Or, any one of those kind of creatures. It was said to attack with formidable teeth and claws and appeared to be the size of a calf or cow and seemed to fly or bound across fields towards its victims.
Yeesh.
These descriptions from the period could identify the beast as a young lion, a striped hyena, a large wolf, a large dog, or a wolf dog. It's a dog! It's a wolf! It's a wolf dog!
They ran out of options.
Right. But the identity isn't still set in stone, set in concrete, so it's still kind of in the air on debate into modern times on the species.
Yeah.
But this creature became such a, what's the French for ass? A pain in the rump.
Derriere.
The Kingdom of France got so annoyed with this thing and so distraught about it, they used a considerable amount of wealth and manpower to hunt the animals responsible, including the resources of several nobles, soldiers, royal huntsmen, and civilians. So given that the Kingdom of France had to get involved in hunting this thing down, and it took 3 years.
Yeah.
Take a guess at the number of attacks.
I can only imagine, it had to be quite a lot, because it's all of them trying to make their name, stake their claim in the history books. So I can only imagine hundreds.
Of attacks?
Yeah.
210. A study in 1987 estimated, resulting in 113 deaths and 49 injuries.
Jeez.
98 of the victims killed were partly eaten. Other sources from varying studies claim the animal or animals killed between 60 to 100 adults and children and injured more than 30. So, still in the realm of not great.
I'm actually looking at the location that this is all in. Very beautiful. Very beautiful cities.
There's not a bad looking part of France, really. Even the catacombs are pretty to a degree.
Very beautiful, very mountainous. Something I wouldn't expect. I've never traveled abroad, and I would love to sometime. This is very beautiful.
But you're engaged. How have you not traveled abroad or two?
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here.
I had to do it. It was there. You left it sitting there on the table.
Yeah, no. I left the nice, fresh, warm cookies sitting there on the table, and you went and grabbed one.
Because I'm an idiot.
You grabbed the whole plate's what you did. Yep.
So, somewhere the nicer estimates, at least 90 attacks, higher end kills, or higher end number of attacks over 200.
Yeah.
So, a pretty tight number, so there's a pretty good, it's accurate-ish to a degree. But, the Beast of Gevaudan committed its first recorded attack in the early summer of 1764. A young woman that was tending cattle in the Mercois forest near the town of Langnon.
Langnon.
In the eastern part of Gevaudan. There it is. I did it.
You
First
said
one.
it.
There needs to be a counter for that. Gevaudan saw a beast quote unquote, like a wolf, yet not a wolf, end quote, run towards her. However, the bulls in the herd charged the beast, keeping it at bay. They drove it off after it attacked a second time. Shortly afterwards, on June 30th, the beast's first official victim was recorded. 14-year-old Jean Boulet was killed near the village of Les Haubach on July 1st.
Let's see. So you owned you owned cattle. You owned bull. You owned cattle.
yeah.
Did they ever toss around a coyote or something that tried to come into the?
Funny story.
Because they're bringing about this dog-like creature came running up and then got spooked off by the
story time
by bulls.
So my family raised Longhorns, Texas Longhorns, and we also had 4 horses and 2 miniature mules, which we used as protection because mules are violently defensive about their herd creatures that they live with.
So that's why they have mules on farms.
Yep.
Fair enough.
They are giant security.
Fair enough.
And the way our house overlooked the field that we had them, fenced in, we had a patch of trees, a clearing that you could see into the field, and then another patch of trees. And I was heading down to feed them one afternoon, and I'm getting food in the buckets, and I'm going to walk out there, and I see a small little, it was a coyote, but a small brown blur just run from between one patch to the other patch of trees. It was like a scene from Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't running my line of sight. I saw it between the 2 trees. And then I see the 2 mules.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see my 4 horses. And then at our peak, we had, I think, 40 head of cattle.
Uh-huh.
I see our probably 1.5 ton Texas Longhorn bull and his little brother, who was bigger than him, steer behind him. And then I saw all the female cattle, and then I saw all the calves. It was almost timed to the T. It was coyote, mini mules, horses, bull, steer, the rest of the herd. It was like,
now I'm thinking of the Benny Hill thing. Just
like the hallway scenes for Scooby-Doo, like running from door to door and popping up in different. Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh god, they're Keystone Copsing this. I love it. I can see it right now in my head.
This will be a tangent for a minute. Pardon me.
And then there goes your dad chasing after the calves.
Well, maybe.
Just that one last person. It's that one last person running.
This is just going to become funny stories from the farm episode.
Oh god, I love it.
But to answer your question, yes. I think I told you we had a neighbor that had a big F-350 monstrously bulky truck.
Yes, and that's how they had the really big
cattle guard.
Yeah, you told me that. You told me that one when we did the
giant animals, I think.
It was not giant animals. It was either giant animals or I forgot what it was. I was listening. I had to listen to it to edit it. I think it was
that story.
Yes.
That was his bull.
Yep.
Our steer, when we moved from the property, we sold the cattle to the next owners. Our bull Snowy was a big bulky boy.
Yeah.
He was a chonk. As the Gen Zers or whatever the heck the newest one is call him. Chonka boy. Waffle was a different breed. Waffle was tall and buff, and as of the last time I saw him, he was on course to be a Guinness World Record holding tip-to-tip length horns.
Yeah, you mentioned this in that same episode, too.
Yeah. Waffle uprooted a fucking tree once.
Yep.
And upended our corral that was made specifically for longhorns.
Oh, wait, I know why we talked about that. I know how we talked about that. We were talking about that during the Fairy Flag episode. Yeah. Because I was talking about the cattle that were being affected.
Yeah.
And how cattle are stupid tough because they know they are.
Yeah. And Texas Longhorns are some of the toughest breed of creatures. They can survive drought. They survive Oklahoma droughts and blizzards, for God's sakes. But yeah, to answer the question, yes, a bull will absolutely beat the fuck out of an animal.
So I can only imagine that. So this cow herder, she definitely she got lucky.
She got lucky. The first victim, the Jean Bollet, did not so much.
Unfortunately, not for this young girl.
She was buried, unfortunately, without sacraments because she could not confess before her death.
Yeah, no, so with Catholics,
Yeah.
last rites and everything, just to clear yourself before you before you pass on.
However, the burial certificate specifies that she was killed by the ferocious beast. So they knew something happened.
So something is afoot.
Which suggested that she was not the first victim, but only the first declared.
Oh boy. That is definitely like the ferocious beast has finally gotten her. Why am I going British? The ferocious beast has gotten her. There we go. There we go. Much better.
Well, now you're not the only one offending the French.
Yeah, I got French heritage. But even...
Yeah, it's the mustache.
Oh, no, like, full on. Like, I have French blood on my... I actually have French blood.
I mean, I've seen you run away from scary things.
Just gonna look away now. Allez, surrender.
A second victim... Giggle. A second victim...
God damn it.
Was reported on August 8th, same age, 14. Lived in the hamlet of...
Would you like me to assist with some of these words? I don't mind.
Masmagie?
Masmaison.
Masmaison?
Actually, probably Mamaison. The S's sometimes
yeah,
vanish
it is
in
silent,
French.
isn't it?
Mamaison.
In the parish of Polaret.
Pileron.
These two victims were killed in the Alia Valley.
Okay.
From the end of August and in September, other victims were recorded in the Mercois forest or its surroundings. Throughout the remainder of 1764, more attacks were reported in the region. Obviously, back in the 1700s, word spreads like that. Terror starts gripping like a freaking plague.
And fear is a very excellent motivator.
Scared the populace because the beast was repeatedly preying on lone men, women, and children as they tended livestock in the forest around Gevaudan.
So it wasn't going after the cattle, it was going after people?
My thought is it was going after the cattle, humans intervened, tried to distract it, scare it off, and it went after that target. And once after it realized, oh, those are easy targets, snapped and became that.
I mean, possibly.
I mean, if I was putting myself in the furry feet of a animal like a wolf or something, big ass stocky bull,
yeah,
or pink
little quick meal,
yeah, or a quick meal that ain't gonna put up a fight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with that.
Because cattle, it takes a hot minute to take down a cow, but if you want to take down a human, you just gotta get the neck and you're good to go.
And that's the beast. Reports note that the beast seemed to only target the victim's head or neck regions. Some witnesses claimed it had supernatural abilities, could walk on its hind legs and feet like humans, believed it performed supernaturally astounding leaps.
How did Spring Hill Jack get in here?
Right?
I mean, we just brought him back. What the hell?
I also believed the beast could repel bullets and come back from the dead.
Ugh.
Of course.
Alright, so we've pretty much made this creature likely into a frickin' werewolf.
Yeah.
Grand.
Late December 1764, rumors began circulating it was more than just one, it was a pair of animals.
There's always another one.
Yeah, because there was such a high number of attacks in such a short space of time.
It's never twins, though.
And most of the attacks appeared to have occurred or were reported nearly at the same time. Some accounts suggest the creature was seen with another such animal, or that was reported with its young.
Uh-huh.
So there's allegedly 1, 2, now a whole population of them.
And that's even scarier.
Yeah. So, New Year's Eve Day, December 31st, 1764, the Bishop of Mende, Gabriel Flore de Choiseul Beaupré. Didn't butcher that as badly as I thought.
Yeah, let's see, yeah. Gabriel Flore de Choiseul Beaupré.
Also known as Count of Gevaudan, called for prayers and penance.
Penance.
I forget. Called for prayers and penis.
Yeah, hey, you said it, not me.
Whip your dicks out at it. It'll scare it away.
Dicks out for Harambe?
Oh, this episode's cursed. All right, moving on. Delete this one. Let's start over. Not even gonna. No. Nope.
Don't say it.
This appeal has remained in history under the name of Commandment of the Bishop of Mende. All the priests of the diocese had to announce it to their faithful. In this long text, the bishop described the beast as a scourge set by God to punish men for their sins. Of course.
Ah, a scourge of God.
He quoted St. Augustine in invoking the justice of God, as well as the Bible and divine threats uttered by Moses.
Lord.
I will arm the teeth of wild beasts against them. At the end of this commandment, prayers of 40 hours were recited by 3 consecutive Sundays. Or for 3 consecutive Sundays.
I mean, whatever.
Not for naught.
I mean, whatever helps you sleep at night.
Not for naught. Ain't no one committing to that kind of prayer marathon nowadays.
Yeah, not for nothing. Like, legitimately, prayer's not going to do anything. They're just going to hop right into...
Despite the hopes and prayers, in spite of the divine pleas, the massacre continued.
Why am I not surprised?
Or...
I'm not even... Nope.
Nope. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Nope.
On January 12, 1765, Jacques Porfa...
It'd be Jacques.
Jacques?
God damn it.
Jacques Portefex. Maybe I'll just pronounce them like that. Just really butcher them. Just go full American with it.
Ah, my man.
Jacques Porfait. Porfavor. And 7 children from the village of Villeray in the parish of Chanalay were attacked by the beast. After several attacks, they drove it away by staying grouped together.
Oh, you gotta have numbers, I mean...
Rule 1 of scary movies, don't separate the group.
That is a massive truth.
Rule 1 of D&D, don't separate the team or the party.
And yeah, that's sometimes when the best shenanigans are had.
That's why you don't separate the party.
Exactly.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans are great.
The encounter eventually came to the attention of King Louis XV, who awarded 300 livres.
Lever.
He awarded 300 livers
Oh, God.
to Portefeuille and another 350 livres to be shared among his companions. The king also rewarded Portefeuille with an education at the state's expense.
All right, so alrighty.
He did a good deed. He then decreed that the French state would help find and kill the beast.
So it looks like now.
So the hunt begins.
A literal federal hunt.
Yep. In February 11th, in the parish of Lemazou, about 12-year-old little girl who had been partly devoured on the present day by a man-eating beast that has been ravaging this country for nearly 3 months.
3 months.
So that was basically Louis' declaration.
Yeah.
And explanation for funding a federal wolf hunt.
I mean, if children are dying.
Yeah.
I mean,
at an alarming rate, apparently.
Because of a foul beast or what have you, by all means.
By April 1765, the story of the beast had spread throughout Europe. The Courrier d'Avignon and English journalists made fun of the impotence of royal power in the face of a simple animal. Ooh.
So they're making fun of this guy. They're making fun of the fact that, oh, you guys can't kill it, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Meanwhile, the local bishop and the intendants had to deal with an influx of mail, people from all over France suggesting more or less eccentric methods to overcome the beast. So the animal was basically getting fan mail to a degree.
Oh, come on.
Not directly fan mail, but here's how you should try it. Shut up. You're not here. No. Your input doesn't matter if you're not here to initiate it. Court also issued depictions of the beast, saying that everyone was less terrified at his approach and less likely to be mistaken. So basically they made wanted posters, for lack of a better term.
Wanted posters for a beast.
And so that packs of hunting dogs could be trained to chase the beast thanks to an effigy executed in cardboard. So they made a mock-up of it and basically trained animals to hunt that.
In cardboard?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't think they had cardboard as far back in the...
I'm sure it wasn't exactly cardboard, but... So, the royal intervention of the hunt, basically. The royal hunt that was state-sponsored. First Captain Duhamel of the Clermont Prince Dragoons and his troops were soon sent to Gevaudan despite being extremely zealous of wanting to get this beast in the ground, dead and in the ground. And oddly enough, there was non-cooperation on part of the local herders and farmers.
So the farmers are like, this thing. So the farmers and herders.
This thing's killing us. Do not help us.
We do not want your assistance.
We are strong, independent Frenchmen. Although it's coming, help us.
Yeah, I got nothing.
So the farmers and herders of Gevaudan were stalling Duhamel's efforts. I can only imagine they were. I don't know why this morbidly comes to mind, but they were like painting their dogs up and sending them out into the woods to fuck with the Dragoon Guard.
That God. Okay, that is insane.
I can imagine that, like, that's the only thing I can think of stalling an entire dragoon of troops.
Yeah.
He reached the village of Lemazou. Still not saying that right. He was hampered even by the incompetence of his guards in the village.
Of course, there's always the guard incompetence.
They got stalled before they got to the village, and as the beast was crossing the Truyère River. Like, they saw it, couldn't get to it fast enough, and it disappeared in the woods.
I would be pissed. It's like, there are these Jouvours, and then it runs off. Jouvours! I would be so pissed.
You idiots! I don't know what that was.
No, that was definitely more Peter Lorre, like, you idiot!
Yeah.
That was German.
Louis XV, King Louis, number 15.
Ooby-doo. Wrong Louis.
Well, yeah, wrong Louis. Sent 2 professional wolf hunters, Jean-Charles Marc. Why do people have such ridiculously long names?
If I may, I'm more than happy to.
Jean-Charles Marc Antoine Vamuse Edeven.
Vame de Enneval.
Sure. And his son Jean.
Jean-Francois.
Jean-Francois. Captain Incompetency, Duhamel, was forced to stand down and return to his headquarters in Clermont-Ferrand.
Oh, we were so close.
And was forced to cooperate with Davanel and Jean-Francois. Found it impossible as the two differed too much in their strategies.
Why am I not surprised?
So you had a professional wolf hunter telling you do this, and he was like, no, we will do it my way. Fuck, it has not worked. Duhamel organized wolf hunting parties on his own accord, while Jean-Francois and his father believed the beast could only be shot using stealthy techniques.
Sometimes the best way to catch a predator is to catch it off guard. I mean, okay, what are you thinking here?
Intrusive thoughts.
Say it.
The only way to catch a predator. Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Why don't you have a
I figured you were going to go there when I said it like that. It makes me think of that scene from the first Avatar movie, wherein Jake Sully, he's flying, and he manages to fly above.
Oh, the big one,
the big one, the big bird one, yeah. and like it's like that. You truly have to get the upper hand on an apex predator, and this creature, just based on description, seems like an apex. So therefore, you have to get the upper hand. So the two wolf hunters, they kind of have, because wolves are also apex predators, like full on.
Yeah. So
it makes sense that you would want to do that.
So father and son, Dianaval, arrived in Clermont-Ferrand on February 17th. 1765, bringing 8 bloodhounds that had been trained in wolf hunting.
Yeah.
Over the next 4 months, the pair hunted for Eurasian wolves, believing that was the culprit. Or, a Eurasian wolf pack at least, probably.
Yeah.
However, despite killing multiple wolves, the attacks continued.
Mm-hmm.
In June 1765, the Dianavals were replaced by Francois Antoine, who is sometimes identified as his son, wrongly, Antoine de Bethune. So the king's sole, I'm not going to pronounce it, but basically long gun, a hunting rifle, the king's sole long rifle bearer and lieutenant of the hunt, Francois Antoine. He arrived in June.
Oh, an arquebus.
Arquebus, yes.
An arquebusier would be the user, is the one armed with it.
Yeah. So, his sniper, basically.
That's what that gun is, absolutely.
He arrived in the village of Le Mazou in June 22nd. August 11th, Antoine organized a great hunt. That day saw the feet of the Maid of Gevaudan. Marie-Jeanne Vallet, about 20 years old, was a servant of the parish priest of Palhach. In the company of other peasant women, she was taking a footbridge to cross a small stream when the beast appeared out of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like the setting of a horror movie.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, it's nice. I can see, like, dark night. The moon is out.
Not even dark night, just dusk.
Dusk, even worse.
That's more terrifying. Cause
yeah. Because the shadows are everywhere. You're just walking on a footbridge, and all of a sudden you see these glowing eyes coming out of the woods at you.
So,
ooh, get myself chills.
Marie took a few steps back. The beast used its supernatural leaping abilities and basically almost landed on her.
Yep.
As the story goes, the beast, Marie managed to plant a spear into its chest when it attacked her. The beast fell into the stream under the footbridge and seemingly disappeared back into the woods. The story quickly reached Antoine, King Louis' sniper.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep reiterating so we know who's who. He went to the scene of the incident, found the spear was indeed covered in blood, and that traces found were similar to those of the beast. A letter to Saint Florentin, minister of the king's house, he compared Marie-Jeanne to the Joan of Arc and nicknamed her the Maid of Gevaudan. That's a hell of a comparison.
Being compared to Joan of Arc, absolutely.
Yeah. September 20th or 21st, depending on the account, Antoine killed a large gray wolf measuring 31 inches high and 5 feet 7 inches long. For our metric system users, 80 centimeters long and 1.7 meter, or 80 centimeters high, 1.7 meters long.
That's
a good sized doggo.
1.8 centimeters.
Meters,
yeah.
Yeah, 1.7, 1.8 ish.
Yeah, it's a good sized dog.
Weighed 130 pounds, 60 kilos. The wolf, which was named Le Loup de Chessy, after the nearby Abbé de Chessy, so the Abbey of Deschez, was said to have been quite large for a wolf. Antoine officially stated, quote unquote, "We declare by the present..." Well, should I do a horrible English accent?
Nah, I think we're good on the bad French accents. I think we met our quota and then some.
Baguette. Okay, got it. "We declare by the present report signed from our hand, we never saw a big wolf that could be compared to this one. Hence, we believe this could be the fearsome beast that caused so much damage." End quote. The animal was further identified.
They're letting your hick slip out.
Yeah. As the culprit by several attack survivors who recognized the scars on its body inflicted by victims defending themselves. Among the identifiers were Marie-Jeanne and her sister. So, closed case, found it, culprit's dead, got it. After the report was written, Antoine's son loaded the animal onto his horse and set off for Paris. At Saint Fleur? God.
Saint-Fleur?
Sure. He showed it to Monsieur de Montlot in Clermont-Ferrand, the base where Captain Incompetence went back to. He had it stuffed. He left Clermont on September 27th and arrived at Versailles on October 1st, where he was hailed as a hero. The beast was exhibited in the Jardin des Rois. Meanwhile, Francois Antoine and his gamekeepers stayed in the Auvergne woods to chase down the beast's female partner and her 2 grown pups.
There's always the partner.
There's always a bigger fish.
Pretty much.
Those 3 specimens were reported near the Abbey of Chat. I know I said that 5 different ways now. On October 19th, Antoine succeeded in killing the female wolf and a pup, which seemed already larger than its mother.
Jeez.
At the examination of the pup, it appeared to have a double set of dew claws, a hereditary malformation found in the Basseroux or Beauceron dog breed.
I'm looking at what a Beauceron looks like.
It's a large herding breed. Almost looks like basically a French Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Rottweiler.
It looks like a Rottweiler, but with longer legs.
Yeah. The other pup was shot and hit and was believed to have died while retreating between the rocks.
Has a slightly longer snout, not nearly as square, but either way, very beautiful dog.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, though.
Antoine returned to Paris on November 3rd and received a large sum of money, over 9,000 livres, as well as fame, titles, awards, the standard stuff for killing a mass-murdering animal in old-timey France.
Yep, hail the conquering hero. Oh, the French Libra. It's literally the pound. It's coins.
I was going to say, what's the monetary transaction to American dollars now?
Let me see what I can do. Libra to dollars. Okay. It's a £1 sterling, so, at the time, $9,000.
Okay.
Which back then in medieval France, 1700s France, good chunk of money.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, $9,000 nowadays isn't bad either. So, story's done, right?
Or is it?
No. Just like Napoleon, it shall return.
Just sweet Napoleon.
The month of November passed without any attack being reported. The populace dared to believe that Antoine had actually killed the beast. In a letter from November 26th, the syndic Antoine Lafont affirmed to the intendant of Lagandor, we no longer hear of anything relating to the beast. But quickly, rumors, like a bad horror movie, rumors spread of new attacks.
Of course.
Scream 47. We're running out of ideas. Towards Segua and Locre. On December 2nd, 2 boys aged 6 and 12 were further attacked, suggesting the beast had returned.
Oh no.
The beast tried to capture the youngest, but was successfully fought off by the older boy. Soon after, successful attacks followed, and some of the shepherds witnessed that the beast showed no fear around cattle at all.
Mm-hmm.
A dozen more deaths reported to have followed attacks near Abassare Sainte-Marie, just when you thought the water was safe. This plays out like a horror movie and the immediate sequel.
No kidding.
Until the beginning of 1766, facts remained episodic, and no one knew if they were attributable to the beast or just to plain wolves.
Yeah, no, this is just, very much a lot of this is becoming hearsay real fast.
Yeah. However, in a letter wrote to the intendant of Avignon on January 1st, 1766, Monsieur de Montluc seemed convinced the beast had indeed reappeared.
Uh-huh.
The intendant alerted King Louis XV. King Louis didn't want to hear any more about that shit.
I mean, I don't blame him. He's probably been inundated enough. He just goes, I give up. I just don't want to hear it anymore. Right now, I have to deal with what is apparently these peasants. They are trying to think of a revolution. I don't know nothing about it. I have nothing to hear.
Basically, yeah.
That's not until my my successor. That's his issue, not mine.
Les mis des baguettes.
Ugh.
King Louis didn't want to hear anything about it. He basically, how'd you say it, arquebus?
Arquebus.
Arquebus. My arquebus has dealt with it.
He's like, it's dead. I don't want anything
it is
more.
Done.
It's
Hear
just
no more of it.
It's the damn rural folk just being crazy. That's all it is.
He was so annoyed with it. From then on, newspapers no longer reported any of the attacks.
That sounds about right. Like I mean, if I had control of the media and be like, okay, enough of this.
Yeah.
And never mind.
In March 1766, not only did the attacks increase, they multiplied.
Multiplied? Like what? Split in two?
Right. Basically, local gentlemen now knew that their salvation would not come from the court, so they took up arms themselves. On March 24th, the particular estates of Gevaudan were held at Marveget. Etienne L'Enfant and the young Marquis de Pacher, a local nobleman, recommended poisoning the corpses of dogs and carrying them to usual passages of the beast.
So, poison corpses of dogs.
Yep.
I mean, if it gets results.
Yeah. The latter, the local nobleman, Marquis de Pacher, did not seem to cover as much ground as before. Oh, no, hang on. Scratch that. That didn't make sense. The beast being the latter in this statement, but the latter did not seem to cover as much ground as before. It settled in Tremont, in the Tremont region, Montmarché, Montgrand, and Montcheval.
Yeah, the Triple Mountains region is what that is.
About 9.3 miles apart, 15 kilometers. Yeah, give or take.
Fair enough.
Measures taken proved ineffective, small hunts were organized in vain, and the beast continued its attacks throughout 1766. But its mode of operation had changed. It seemed less enterprising, a little less bold, and seemed a lot more cautious.
Mm-hmm.
That was backed up by various correspondents, including that of Canon Olier, parish priest of Larcher, and to Etienne L'Enfant.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So quite truly, this thing went from being just a bloodthirsty, crazy beast
to smart.
To smart, and that is dangerous for anything.
It went from the raptors in Jurassic Park to the raptors in Jurassic Park 3.
Yep.
It got smart. At the beginning of 1767, the attacks experienced a slight dip, but they resumed in the spring. As would anyone that is in France in the winter. I wouldn't want to do shit either.
Yeah, no, very much. I would be staying inside, hibernating, anything just to stay warm.
The populace no longer knew what to do except to pray, of course.
I mean, that's what I tell some patrons at work sometimes. It's like, oh, got this card here, hope and pray, hope and pray! That's all I got.
Pilgrimages were increasing mainly to Notre-Dame-des-Ballets and Notre-Dame-d'Estaing. On June 18th, it was reported to the Marquis de Pacher that the beast had been seen that day before in the parishes of Nozere and Dege. In the latter, in the village of Les Bennerais, it had allegedly killed 19-year-old Jeanne Bastide. So, it is playing like a typical horror, and like I said, horror movie tropes. Slight increase, and it makes its appearance. It starts ramping up. Pinnacle beast attack, final showdown, dips down, and it returns.
It's like the Beast of Gevaudan, the return.
C'est a sequel.
Ha ha.
Ha ha, ha ha, oui, oui.
God.
I just want a hard cut to the middle of France, people in France with signs with our faces and, the no smoking circle with a cross through it on our faces.
Yeah.
These people suck!
That would be us.
Hang the Americans! Please don't hang us.
Please, no.
Well, no, they wouldn't hang us. They made the guillotine. It was finally the final showdown. Not the final countdown.
You spooked my cats.
The killing of the creature that eventually marked the end of the attacks is credited to a local hunter named Jean Chastel.
Jean Chastel.
Who shot it at the slopes of Montmarché, now called Les Sangles des Roves. God, I suck at this.
You're doing okay so far.
Yeah.
Like, I mean...
During a hunt organized by the God damn it, Ted. Organized by the Marquis de Pécher on June 19, 1767. God, that's a freaking jump. In 1889, Abbot Pourchois told the edifying oral tradition which said that the pious hero Chastel shot the creature after reciting his prayers, but the historical accounts do not report any such thing. The story about the large caliber bullets homemade with Virgin Mary's medals is a literary invention by the French writer Henri Perrois. Jean Chastel shot and killed the beast in the mountains June 19, 1767. It's over. It's done. But not.
Oh, God.
We're returning for that shitty third movie no one watches and goes straight to DVD. The body was loaded onto a horse and brought to the Chateau de Besquet of the Marquis de Pécher, located in Charray, where it was necropsied by Dr. Bollinger, a surgeon at the Séguin. The doctor's post-mortem report was transcribed to the Royal Notary Rochantin Marine and is known as the Marine Report on the Beast. The results of the examination were consistent with a large wolf or wolf dog, but the remains were incomplete by the time Bollinger acquired them, precluding conclusive identification of the animal. The beast was then exhibited at the chateau, where the Marquis lavishly received crowds which thronged to see the remains. Numerous testimonies from victims of attacks enriched the report. The beast stayed in the Besquet for a dozen days.
I can imagine. The Basque.
The Basque, yeah.
I think it's the Basque.
Besqueue.
B-E-S, the Basque.
The Basque, yeah, because B-A is Basque.
Yeah, and that's a region.
So, it's in a chateau. It's in the Marquis's house, basically.
Yes.
You would think someone would probably have records of where the fuck they put the thing after they were done showing it off.
Yeah, where'd it go? Like, do you think they would have it? Think they would have it like stuffed, ready to go? Just like, yep, I have it right here in my home.
The Marquis de Pécher instructed a servant named Guibert to take the beast to Versailles to show it to King Louis, who is probably busy not dying yet.
Well, I mean, if it's Louis the 15th, he's fine.
Oh yeah, no, it was 16th that paid the price.
Yeah. Damn it, Gibert.
According to an oral tradition reported by Abbot Pourchois and reported by several authors, Jean Chastel would have been on the trip, but Louis XV would have disdainfully rejected him because the remains... Oh boy, this is going to send horrible things up your nose. Because the remains summarily stuffed by an apothecary who had contented himself with replacing the entrails with straw, gave off a stench that the heat made even more unbearable.
Ew.
Yeah.
And I've smelled putrefaction, and when you have putrefaction in the heat, that's a whole other pile.
This version of everything is called in question by the testimony of the servant of the Marquis de Pécher collected in 1809. So, it looks so close to Gilbert.
Yeah,
Gilbert finally arrived in Paris, went to stay at the Hotel Particulier of Mr. de la Rochefoucauld, to whom he, at the same time, gave a letter in which Mr. de Pécher begged the Lord to inform the king of the happy deliverance of the monster.
Shit.
The king was at Compiègne at the time, and according to the news he was told, he gave orders to Mr. de Bonfons to visit and examine this animal. The naturalist, Mr. de Bonfons, according to the naturalist, in spite of the dilapidation to which the worms had reduced it in the fall of all the hairs, following the heat of the end of July and the beginning of August.
Ew.
In spite of still the bad odor which it gave off, after serious examination judged that it was only a big wolf. As soon as naturalist de Bonfons had made the examination of this animal, Guibert hastened to have it buried because of its great stench, and he said it had been so inconvenienced. He had been so inconvenienced by it that he was sick and bedridden for more than 15 days in Paris. He suffered from this disease for more than 6 years and even attributed to this bad smell that he breathed for so long the poor health he has always been burdened with since that time. So he stuck around a decaying corpse for so long he started getting sick.
Shocker.
All right. It emerges that Jean Chastel, the guy that killed it, because, again, there are so many names being thrown here, did not accompany Gebert to Paris. Likewise, the servant never presented the remains of the beast to the court of Louis XV.
Nah, I mean, I would not want to present a decaying carcass to the court of the king either. I find myself getting my head cut off for that.
Right. Buffon left no document on this subject, neither kept in the collections of the Jean de Roux in Paris, nor buried in Marly or Versailles. The beast was probably buried in the garden of the private mansion of Louis Alexandre de la Roquefort,
Long names.
a gentleman sharing a distant common ancestor with the Marquis of Apichère. The hotel that Gebert stayed in while he was getting after the whole incident. Was demolished in 1825. The attacks in Gevaudan ceased immediately. Authorities of the diocese granted rewards to the hunters. Jean Chastel received 72 liveries on September 9th. Jean Terrorized received 78 liveries on September 17th. And all the hunters who accompanied them shared 312 liveries on May 3rd, 1768.
Damn.
So, there is the story of the Beast of Gevaudan. The story is done.
Yep.
Now to get to the nitty-gritty, the facts of it.
Yep.
Given everything that you've heard and what you knew of the Beast of Gevaudan, because I know it's not the first time you've heard of it.
Yeah, no, in cryptozoological books and circles, it's usually one of the number one creatures talked about because it's just such a mystery to it.
Yeah. Most of the prints from the 18th century, it looks like a giant fucking weasel.
Like a Weasley dog-looking creature.
Dog weasel thing.
Because they didn't know how to really draw animals back then.
Oh, God, no. That's going to be a subject that we're going to drink about later, I'm sure.
Sure.
But, yeah. The theory that I heard the most being thrown around when I did a little bit of reading and when I was, like, fanaticizing about this.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was like a duke or a marquis or something. Marquis. Some higher-up royal snob actually had pet hyenas on his grounds, and they escaped.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I've heard it was hyenas. I have heard that it was actually a wolf that had gone rabid.
Yeah.
I have heard that it was... There's actually one where it was an escaped lion because of the way the tail is described.
Yeah. But then looking at striped hyenas, it was a dead ringer.
Oh yeah, no. Without a doubt.
So,
but the tail's the only issue because, I mean...
They had tufts. The striped hyenas have tufts on the back of their tails.
But they didn't have
long.
They didn't have a long tail.
Yeah. But it was something. Something happened.
There was a real creature that was absolutely causing problems for this region in France.
Yep.
There absolutely was a problem.
So, the autopsy, also known as the Marine Report, I'm just going to touch a little bit of the details of it.
Yeah.
It was actually rediscovered in 1952 by historian Elise Seguin. Provided precise information on this animal, which seemed to us to be a wolf, but extraordinary and very different by its figures and its proportions from the wolves that one sees in this country. So there is evidence that can be read and looked at describing the autopsy of this creature, which is a lot more than most people ever get.
Yeah.
The dental formula, or layout formula, for this creature, the upper jaw consists of 20 teeth, which were 6 incisors, 2 canines, 12 molars. Lower jaw had 22 teeth, all of which pointed to a canid, a dog-ish creature. Also described all the wounds and scars, and then it has testimony from several people who recognized it. So you've got a detailed report with details of the creature, reports of the creature, wounds and scars. It's so cool to realize that this was an actual fucking animal, and it's not hearsay.
Yeah, there was something. They just didn't know what it was. I mean, could have even been a mangy coyote for all we know.
Yeah.
No, a mangy wolf.
Yeah. So,
it's still,
The biggest theories are the lion, wolf, a bear, rabid dog,
and hyena as well.
Yeah, hyena, and that's the one because looking at a striped hyena and then looking at the description.
Yeah. I mean, right there.
Right fucking there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... I think I like this one so much because it's historically notated that it happened. And there's evidence that it happened.
It's just that we have issue with what the hell the creature was. We know that it was something.
Yeah.
They just don't know rightfully what it was.
Yeah. Do we want to go on to the...
Nah, we've got ourselves a good hour into this.
Okay.
I think we can save that other puppy for another day.
Wisconsin.
So,
I will probably, just for sake of consistency, I will probably just be on a dog tangent for a few episodes and knock out the next one, the Wisconsin guy, and then...
a couple others.
I'll touch base on, like, hellhounds maybe.
That'd be cool.
Or, like, Cerberus. I mean, that's a fucking cool one to topic.
What we could do, yeah.
But, yeah, so the Beast of Gevaudan, the Beast of Gevaudan.
Finally got that out again.
All right. Yeah, that's probably my favorite one because it's so well documented.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so there we go. There's the Beast of Gevaudan.
Yep.
And I am so sorry to our French population for all of the,
And we forgot to mention at the top of the show, because we just seem to do this a lot. This is right into the new year of 2024.
Happy New Year! Don't get murdered by dog.
So Happy New Year indeed. We completely didn't do that. Next episode is episode 20, Tony, and we know what that means. Another serial killer, but in this case, it's not just one killer, but two, and there's going to be a whole lot of frontier justice. So things are going to get really crazy in our next episode.
God damn it.
Yep. Once again, everybody, thank you all for listening to Tall and Short with Tim and Tony.
I'm Tony.
And I am Tim. You got it right on that one. He's like, am I Tony? I'm having an existential crisis whether I am Tony or not. I can't tell anymore.
I am Groot.
Yep. So, once again, thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did, because this has been a very fascinating creature to me, because like you said, we have documentation that this thing did exist.
Yeah.
But
we rarely get that in the cryptozoological world.
But we don't know for certain what the hell it was. And that's going to be I think that's what gets everybody with the mystery of the Beast of Gevaudan, is they don't know what the hell it is.
Last thing before we fully sign off.
Yes.
What do you think it was?
I still think I'm torn between either a mangy wolf or a hyena, just based upon the stripes. I don't know if there's some type of long-tailed version, or if it had like a ribbon or something on the end of it. I don't know.
I lean towards hyena. I really do. I don't know why, but hyena just really pulls at me on that.
It's just one of those that's going to get us for a hot minute.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, thank you all for listening. Please drop us a like, a review, a rating, everything.
Hit that like and subscribe button. Yeah.
And tell your friends, and have your friends tell them, and so on.
Don't tell your French friends though. Don't tell them about.
We butchered the French.
We're just gonna.
It's bad.
Just tell them to skip this episode. It's not good. Yeah. It's not good for their health.
Word of mouth helps us out. Our logo is by my friend Brittanie. Once again, want to thank her for that. If you'd like to follow us on socials, you can find us on Tall and Short Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. You can also email us at tallandshortpod@gmail.com. All of that is in the description notes.
And we are on all the mainstream streaming things.
All the platforms. Yeah. So we're good to go on that one. So
you'll find us somewhere somehow. Yeah. I know it. I know you will. You can do it.
Thank you all for listening. Hope you have an amazing day. And as always, stay tuned for more Tall and Short with Tim and Tony.
Oui, oui.
Bye.